Hi everyone. This video is going to be how to do a quadratic regression on Desmos. So I'm going to be using a context from our textbook. So let me share my screen and you can see where I'm at. So I am going to be using problem number 9 from page 438. So it's a context about the number of American adults who are overweight or obese for various years since 1990. So this is the data that I'm going to be using. So in my Desmos, I need to enter in that data like we always do. This is very consistent with your Desmos cheat sheet. So I'm going to add a table. And in that table, I need to put my data. So my X's are 1, 9, 14, 16, 20. So 1, 9, 14, 16, 20, and 24, I think. 24? Oops. Yes, and then my outputs are 56, 64 and a half, 56, 64.5. What else? 66.3 and then also 0.9, 6.3, also 66.9, two more, 68.8 and 70.2, 68.8 and 70.2. Okay, so you put in your data as usual. And then you also follow just the syntax. So if you recall, your cheat sheet has all of your Desmos that you could ever need. So for quadratics, you just look for on your sheet where it says quadratic, and it'll tell you to do y1 squiggly. And then it's just that ax squared plus bx plus c, but we have to use our x1 subnotation always. So ax1 and then squared plus bx1 and then plus c. And that is where it'll populate your A, B, and C. Now, remember when you transfer this down to paper though, you're gonna write it as a function. So if you go back to your textbook, you'll see how they wrote their final answer. Let me see if I can make this bigger for you. There we go. So look at how they wrote their final answer. See, this is your job. Desmos finds the numbers for you, sure, but you need to know how to write it. So if the variables were P and T, and then Desmos has told you that the A value is right here, negative 0.02, well then, okay, cool. Negative 0.02 is your A value, but you have to be the one that says T squared. And then plus, what goes here? Well, it's your B value. Come back to Desmos. Oh yeah. 1.09, excuse me. And so, yes, 1.09, but the variable's t. And then what goes here? That's your c value. Okay, back to Desmos. What's my c value? Oh yeah, 55.25. So where these A's, B's, and C's come from when it comes to regression, that's definitely Desmos, but you're in charge of writing it correctly. If you don't write it correctly, my math lab is going to say it's wrong, and so would I. And so then if I wanted to see a graph of this, I would have to fix my window, of course. So my X's go from like 0 to 30, and my Y values go from like 50 all the way up to like 80. There we go. So notice it's only about half the parabola. Obviously, you can get the entire parabola if you want to, but as far as the data is concerned, this is the only part of the data that we really care about. And then you could get your vertex if you had to, vertical intercept, all that usual stuff. Okay, so that's how you get regression on Desmos. Stop sharing. Okay, and hopefully that should be everything you need to do your MML homework. Your MML homework goes all the way through regression. Okay, cool, thanks.